let's talk about something that doesn't get nearly enough attention in aging research, and that's metabolic flexibility. Now, what we're really discussing here is your body's ability to switch between burning different fuel sources, primarily glucose and fat. Think of it like having a hybrid car that can seamlessly switch between gas and electric power depending on what's needed. When you're young, your metabolism does this beautifully. You eat carbohydrates, your body burns glucose. You go without eating for a while, you smoothly transition to burning fat. But here's the problem. As we age, we lose this flexibility. We become metabolically rigid, stuck in one gear, and this rigidity is intimately connected with metabolic disease, insulin resistance, and accelerated aging. The mechanism behind this is actually fascinating and somewhat troubling. What happens is your mitochondria, those cellular powerhouses we're always talking about, they start to dysfunction. They become less efficient at switching between different fuel sources. Simultaneously, you're developing insulin resistance, where your cells stop responding properly to insulin signals. Add to this the typical sedentary behavior that often accompanies aging, and you've got a perfect storm for metabolic inflexibility. Your body gets stuck primarily burning glucose, and it does so inefficiently. The fat-burning machinery essentially rusts from disuse. Now, why should you care about this? Well, metabolic flexibility is connected to some of the most important longevity pathways we know about, particularly AMPK activation. When you can efficiently switch to fat burning, you're activating cellular repair processes, you're improving insulin sensitivity, and you're reducing the metabolic stress that drives aging. People with good metabolic flexibility tend to have better body composition, more stable energy levels throughout the day, and importantly, better activation of longevity-promoting cellular pathways. So what can you actually do about this? The interventions here are surprisingly practical. First, you need to give your body reasons to switch fuels. This means implementing some form of carbohydrate cycling in your diet. You're not going to restore metabolic flexibility by eating the same macronutrient ratio at every meal, every day. Your metabolism needs practice switching. Some people benefit from periodic ketogenic phases, where you're forcing your body to remember how to burn fat efficiently. Others do better with strategic carbohydrate timing around workouts. Time-restricted eating is another powerful tool here. When you compress your eating window, say to 8 or 10 hours, you're creating extended fasting periods where your body has to switch to fat burning. This is metabolic exercise, essentially. You're training your metabolism to be flexible again. Fasted cardio can amplify this effect. Going for a morning walk or doing some light cardio before eating forces your body to tap into fat stores. Exercise intensity matters too. High-intensity interval training is particularly effective because it depletes glycogen quickly, forcing metabolic switching. But you also need that zone 2 cardio, that moderate intensity work where you're primarily burning fat. The combination trains both systems. Here's something important though, you need to monitor this. Checking your ketone levels periodically can tell you whether you're actually achieving metabolic switching during fasted states. Looking at your glucose response to meals, particularly after fasted periods, gives you insight into your insulin sensitivity and metabolic flexibility. Some people even use continuous glucose monitors to see how their metabolic flexibility changes over time. The warning here is that you can't just jump into aggressive interventions. If you've been metabolically inflexible for years, you need to rebuild this capacity gradually. Starting with a 16-hour fast when your body hasn't efficiently burned fat in decades is a recipe for feeling terrible and giving up.